Hello, welcome to another monthly demonstration video from Smile, Create, Repeat. In this episode I'll be using supplies from the November 2016 surprise and do a little painting for you. Alright. So I'm going to I started already. We have canvas in this box. Frederick's canvas. It's a nice sheet of it. And what I do sometimes is I just use it like this, and then if I finish a painting or do something I like, then I'll stretch it or do something like that, so it's just quicker and easier. And also, if you're doing studies or quick little paintings, you can stick a piece of tape across a piece like this and then have two smaller pieces. That's something that you would do a lot in a workshop if you went on a painting workshop for like landscape painting or something like that. So you can do a bunch of quick little studies while in a short period of time and only use one panel, because you're not there to create a frameable masterpiece, you're just there to learn. So what I'm doing today is going to be using my Utrecht fluid acrylics, and I already did a drawing with charcoal. This was a few months ago, September actually, and I think this will be fun to do in a painting. So there's the charcoal drawing I'm working from, and as you can see, I really worked out a lot of the problems. I focused on the drawing and then the values and the light and shadow line. So when I'm painting, I won't need to think about that because I've already come up to the problem and go, oh, how do I do that ear? And then I figure it out in the proportions, and this probably isn't perfect, but I think it came out pretty nice and I'm happy with it. So, and again, that was just a quick drawing with charcoal. So that I transferred to my canvas just with the pencil. And I'm just going to start. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try using the plastic bag that we put the paints in. We put them in there because we didn't want them to spill if they opened all over your stuff. But we put that in there. So I'm going to try to use that as my palette. So then if I'm done with it, I can just throw it away instead of having to clean it or anything. So I'll put that. Alright. So the first thing I did, as I told you, I got the pencil drawing done, and I'm just putting a little bit of paint on my palette, and we're just gonna so yeah, that's all I did. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I want to get a toned canvas. So what that means is I'm going to get some of my water, which I just have a tub of water here, and I'm going to get some blue paint on a tissue and just rub it on here just so the canvas isn't white. I can still see my drawing, and I don't need this to be perfect, like evenly covered. I just want to knock out the white. And you can use a paper towel. I was going to use a piece of the brown paper. That would work. That might actually create some texture if I had some paint on it. So really whatever. If you have just an old t-shirt, which is what I'm using for my rag. Not that you needed to see what an old t-shirt looked like, but there you go. I want to make sure you have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but anyway. Alright, so that's what I started with. And acrylics, the nice thing is they dry very quick. I'm also sitting by my wood stove, so everything's going to dry very quickly because it's very hot and dry right now in here. So I'll try to show you my paint palette and the painting. And in the video I'm going to try to put in the drawing too, so you can see what I'm looking at as I'm painting. So now I'm just grabbing my brush, and these new brushes, you always have something on them to preserve the bristles. So you got to clean that out first, and I just put some water on it. Do this, just you can feel it, it's a little slimy, and then just wipe it off, rinse it again maybe. I don't think it'll hurt anything, but that's what I do. So what I'm starting with is I'm gonna, just like if you've seen these before, you know I always say start with the darks. So that's what I'm gonna start with. And I am just, when I paint, I don't usually do a drawing and then color it in. I like to just paint and draw, quote unquote, draw as I go. So this is going to be a combination, because I'm going to try to draw almost, I don't want to say coloring in the lines because that's disrespectful to the people who are masters at doing that kind of thing, and nothing wrong with that. That's just not how I like to do it. I like just to paint. And I'm using water to really make it just easier to flow quicker, because I'm just trying to get really just coverage now. I don't care about the brush strokes I'm leaving or what it looks like. And right here it kind of, that edge was soft back there, so I'm gonna get a little water, see if I can soften that. Yeah, ooh, that's a little watercolor effect right there. What I did, I got water on my brush, just dabbed it a little bit on my towel, and then just brushed it right on that edge where the paint, right on the edge of the paint, and that created that wet, soft effect. And this is really preliminary painting, or in the preliminary stages, so you don't need to worry too much, because we're going to be painting over this stuff. Alright, so we're still just getting basic darks in, and I have to, this front of the face here is where the light really hits, so it's very dark behind it, so I have to put that dark in. Chin, neck down to my shoulder. And you can go back in and use the paper towel if you want. Use it to add, to take some of the, lift some of the paint off, or even use it to add texture. Speaking of texture, I'm actually going to try something. And this is just one way to paint with acrylics. There's many ways, of course. This is a very watercolor-like way, but I'm going to show you later on a thicker application of paint as we build this up. And I'm going to do some splatters on it too, just because I want painterly. Oh, I hope I'm not getting that. Oh, I got some on my drawing. Ah, that's upsetting. Oh well. Guess I'll have to do another one. So this is, a lot of this is going to be covered. So I'm using the pencil here to hit the brush against to fling the paint off. And then you can also do it like that. I just made a big mess all over. Okay. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and we'll be right back. Okay, that's dried a little bit. Now we're just going to go, I'm going to go in and start painting my painting. And I'm going to use different values. Okay. Let's see where we are. Yep, I just did that. I saw that that is too light. So I'm going to make the background darker. And then this I have to fix. And we're actually, not to talk about the holidays already, but we do have a fantastic special surprise that we're putting together. It's our deluxe, every year we've done a holiday sketch box. And now, this year we're doing a, you ready? You ready for it? A deluxe holiday sketch box. So it's going to be bigger. There's bigger supplies. Bigger supplies. A pen's a pen, but it's just bigger. So it's we're excited about it. All the details are on our website. It's up for pre-order now. And if you do pre-order, we're putting in an extra Blackwing pencil. That's famous from like Chuck Jones, the guy who drew Bugs Bunny and other Warner Brother characters. He used to use it, and then a bunch of other famous people for writing and illustrating and all kinds of things. So it's pretty cool that we're including that in as a pre-order thank you, as a bonus, and that and other supplies. We're obviously, you got all the supplies that are included with this surprise, but we're also giving you that extra one and then some more extra stuff for pre-ordering that you'll only get then. So go check that out, let us know what you think. And we are shipping them on December 14th, so you'll get it before Christmas, if that's what you were hoping for. And you can put a gift message if you want to get it for someone for a gift, or if you want to get it for yourself. I guess you could put a gift message in, but don't. That's just more work for us. Just kidding, of course. Do what you need. So that, I think that's, actually, I don't think, I know it's exciting. It's going to be real great. So I'm just building up the darks right now, because that needs to be done. And then under here. And I'm really just slopping the paint on, and then I'm pushing it around as if I'm coloring it and drawing with it, and things like that. So that's all. And I'm looking back at my reference, paying attention to that, paying attention to where I'm putting the paint, paying attention to the edge. It's a soft edge or a hard edge. So this here, the forehead, nose, that's a hard edge. This here, where the shadow is curving around my cheek, that would be a soft edge. So you want to draw that softer, not so sharp. And there's even a little paint on my brush, so I'm scrubbing it in. And that's another way to do it, almost like you're using a colored pencil. That's one way to do it. Then this ear is dark, but there's some lights in there. But I'm going to just do, and right now I'm doing this almost like it is a charcoal drawing, instead of really building up, instead of mixing colors. But I'm going to do that later, I think. This is just the way it's working out for me right now. Alright, let's get a mid value or a lighter color. And once you put the white in, it's really going to add an opaqueness to the paint. Where right now, there's a lot of transparency, so you see the white of the paper coming through. Yeah, so you see the white of the paper and the texture. Whereas once you start adding white, it really makes it opaque. A little dab more water. And now I'm also going in and painting over some of the stuff I've done, that some of the marks I've made that aren't quite right, like the nose there, and the forehead. And then I'm going to come back in near the end and really add those highlights. We got the eyebrow, some of the shadow there, and then that blends in there. And that's a softer edge, so we'll blend that there. Okay. So I'm going to have to, that's darker there. That's that. My bottom lip, top lip. Just the profile, and then the edge, the real profile of my cheek here comes from my under eye and back left, the bottom eyelid, and that comes in front of the side of my nose, then just very little there that kind of comes into my bottom lip, and then down my chin. Okay. And I'm going to use, that's not white, but that's pretty light, but there is a lot of that. So now you can see the paint's thicker, less water on it, and I'm really using that to create the look I'm going for. And let's get some more light into there. Nose is light all the way. Okay. Let's see, there's some there. We got that. I need a little bit more water, so you need more paint. Don't be afraid to use paint. You want to use paint, use more paint. I have that, I wrote that on a piece of cardboard somewhere and stuck it, stuck a piece of cardboard on my wall, and it says use more paint, because I never mix enough paint. Alright, so I'm really not focusing on the back of the head, because the focal point of this painting, of course, is the face. So I don't mind it's blending into the background. And then here I do want this to be a little bit more paint, even though I wiped it away with the paper towel earlier. And now I'm designing a little bit. I want a nice sharp edge there, because that's gonna, I don't know if it's going to. It might be kind of neat having that juxtaposition with everything else being so soft. So I'm gonna try that and see what happens. And now I'm just gonna keep building up your paint, and this is a process, so take your time. And another nice thing about the acrylics is if you don't like something, you just wait a little bit, it'll dry and you can paint right over it. So that's good and bad. I'm trying to figure out what I'm actually working on right now. And this plastic bag palette, I've never done that before. I'm not going to lie, I probably won't do it again. It's a bit of a pain. It's going to be nice for cleanup, so that's for sure. Alright, I want to get the eye in there. Alright, so I'm twirling the brush like that to get a point. See if I can get some detail in here. This is a great brush. Okay, that's the nose. No, but I didn't think that's what I was doing. And just the darkest dark, so just the blue. And then that comes up. There's a shadow there. Soften that with a finger smudge. And then okay. I have the eye. The eyelid there that sticks out. That's the background. And then the side plane of the nose behind that eyelid. Yeah, just wanted to get a little paint in there. And now we're gonna, and I can't really see eyelashes, but it's dark in there. And then what I do see, and I'm gonna try to get, is there's a light right on the edge of my lower eyelid that is really going to define, I hope I get it right, really going to define what's happening there. So I think this value is going to be pretty much the lightest value on the face. So I have to make sure that I'm going to put it here. This is not, that was the top, obviously. Well, not obviously, but just needed a point of reference. So that's about right. And then there's also coming down And now I'm going to really punch up the light that's hitting over here. So that's the edge of the eyelid, and then the side of my face is here, comes down, it's smaller there, and it's softer up there. Then a lot there, softer there, highlight on the bottom lip, and then going down to my goat. Okay, so now with that light, I'm going to now, and the brush I put the paint on, so you can see I squished it flat, so that's a fat, and then you turn it that way and it's sharp, but I'm using it almost like a flat brush. And there's a little bit of highlight on the upper lip, and I'm using a little too much white here, I think, because you don't want the white. You want to save the white for just the really bright highlights, but there is a lot of highlight. A lot of light there, because that is, well, that's where all the light's hitting. So there really is that hard edge, sharp edge of highlight there. So I'm going to try to, I don't know what color I have on my brush. Okay, that's a light color. So I'm going to try to blend that in, mixing more blue with light with white. Boy, that was helpful. The only two colors we're using are blue and white. Whoop. And it comes back this way. And then there's a little bit of light that I'm just implying on my goatee. I think that's it. And we also have this red color pencil that I'm gonna use also. I'm going to see if this will make, I'm just going to put it in the darks to see what happens. Add a little variation, and maybe that's just to add another, maybe it'll make it a little darker, just to add a little variety to the shadow. Just on the head, and just a little bit. I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I'm not done. I think I'm going to paint. Let's see what happens when I paint on it. This is fun for me because I wouldn't normally do this if I'm painting, but because I make these videos, I try to think of things that maybe certainly things I haven't done before, but with techniques that I've used before. So I've painted portraits before. I've used colored pencil, done colored pencil portraits before. So I'm just doing it, and we'll see what happens. And then maybe I can do like a mixed media kind of thing, right? where I just have that drawn line. What does that do to the drawing? And then how the back of the head disappeared with the soft edge. But what if I just do a, right? Well, that looks like I'm one of the monks with with no hair right there, doesn't it? So I'm gonna go in and add some paint there. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, the red, and that's what I did this with a children's book I was working on, illustration, excuse me. Oh, that's not true. I lied. I did this on a painting that I did. It was a, what was it, a beach scene, and I drew frames on there, and I'd paint, and then I used colored pencil to just shade some of the, just to add shading and fine detail, just because that's what I felt like doing at the time. So yeah, we're gonna add some dark there, because I don't think that looks good at all, having that red line right there. Yep, need more blue. And I'm probably gonna have to go back over this paint with the colored pencil, and there you see I got a big glob of it, because I'm really trying to cover it up. And then I'm gonna get a little water to soften that. And then I'm going to dab it with this, because I don't like the way that's looking. So I want a soft transition, so there we go. So once that dries, I'm going to go back in. Oh, and we have, I just saw a little spot here. We could do a little, oh, need a little more water. Just some edge light being caught on the hair. So you just take your time. Don't rush. This is not a race. It's just about having fun painting and doing the best you can. And of course sharing it with us, because I'd love to see what you got, what you're doing. And I'm going to add a little bit more the goatee, because that's really, this is a nice brush. It's got the, you can get a real fine point with it. And to wash your brush out, you just want to use just soap and water. I usually use dish soap, and try to rinse out the paint. Try to get as much paint out of it as you can before you wash it down the sink, so either in tissues or paper towels or your old t-shirt rag. So you can see it's still wet there, but I think that's looking pretty good. And now that I'm looking at it, I just stood up to look at it, and this highlight right here is not there, so I have to go in and paint over that, because that is not that light there. All under here, dark, then the highlight right there. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back in with the colored pencil just a little bit more. Thought that was a neat look, having the pencil on the acrylic. And it's still a little wet over there, but that's fine. And I'm not doing it super smooth because I want the strokes. And I'm actually taking a little paint off. That's fine. So I think that's it. So that gives you a nice cool, as in temperature, face, moving over to a warm shadow, and then with a dark, cool reflected light on it also maybe. So thank you so much. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you like this video, please think of us at Christmas time, either for yourself or if you're giving gifts. It's very appreciated. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the leave comments in the comment section, of course. If you have any questions, of course, email us or check out smilecreaterepeat.com. There's a bunch of information, and watch all of our other videos. We got about 24, 25 other demo videos. So yeah, until next month, have fun creating, and please share with us on Facebook.